It's the weekly wrap up, and this time I will be able to focus a little bit more on talking to you, since last week's weekly wrap up was in front of rescued lion cub Mango, which is hard to talk and watch her at the same time. So glad to be with you all to give you kind of some updates that's been going on here at the sanctuary. Wanted to update you on a few construction things first, then some animal updates, and then also kind of some industry updates as well. So we have a lot going on for Healing Habitats. As you know, rescued lions Kim and Carl moved into the first Healing Habitat that you helped us renovate and build, and they have been using their indoor rooms really well finally this week, so much so that they were able to get them locked in without any stress and place enrichment. So if you missed that live post, definitely go check it because it was really great to see them enjoying enrichment. We still have some projects left to do for Kim and Carl. One big one is that in their rooms, they have 2 indoor rooms in the building. We're gonna put a big guillotine door in there so that they can go from room to room, that they don't have to each come outside, and that they'll have more indoor space to share, which is great. We also are putting in a Z structure, so some of those platforms you might have seen on the live post were ones that were there when Shadow lived there, and they were kind of solidified up for lions, but now our team's going to be building something specifically for them, and that more open yard, not the wooded yard that has the Z structure like you've seen in Feline Meadows quite a bit, and old Jeremy and Simon's, now Dash's yard, so that no matter where they go, they get shade if it's on this side or this side. And then we're going to be actually planting a few trees that we hope they keep alive. I will tell you, remember when Tarek and Polina had to move enclosure to enclosure because Tarek liked to take down the trees? Well, this guy Carl is kind of the same way. He loves to lay on trees and bushes, so he's kind of breaking a lot of the smaller trees, and so guess what, we'll just plant more. We do what they need. So it's nice to see everybody. Nice to see you, Lori, Adrian, Faith, Stuart, Sue. We've had Kristen, so thank you guys for joining today. And so also Bobby and Jesse are busy at work. The fence company came to work on a little bit of this really big area. It's going to be a roofed enclosure, and as you know, roofed enclosures take a lot more time to build than the open top enclosures, but it allows us to accommodate different kinds of species, whether it be a bobcat that likes to climb, a lynx that likes to climb, even cougars, leopards, things like that. So it was more versatile. And so the fence company put up the outside. They're working on the ceiling, they're not done yet, and Bobby and Jesse are trenching the outside because, as you know, we do skirting. And most of the time, we'll do skirting like this on the ground. So the fence meets it, and it's kind of a dig guard on the outside. But because of our weather and how saturated our ground and freezing, it keeps pushing up. And if you've ever been on a volunteer crew day, so much of the work that the staff has to do maintenance every year is to put that skirting underground. So we're gonna try this time. They built a big trench along the wall and bearing it straight down. In the past, because of our heaving, we can't do that. We can't concrete in because of the frost line and things like that. But we're seeing if this works, and then if it moves up, the whole thing moves up and then settles again. So we're not having that gap to have to fix every spring. So trying something new. We did it on an old enclosure right when we first moved here. It's worked well. It's always hard to tell if it worked well because it's in an area that doesn't see a lot of freezing and thawing, and they'll have a lot of moisture on that part of the property or not. So, but we're gonna try it. So a lot's been going on there. Then we're still having to get a bunch of trees for that new area in Healing Habitats. The volunteers have been here the last 2 days insulating the 10 by 20 building that goes with that Healing Habitat, and then putting in a guillotine door and things like that. So we're hoping by fall we will have a cat in there. Oh, hi Benny. That's Benny the office cat, old man, as you guys know. So a lot's been going on that way. Also, Mango has been growing like a weed. So she is completely healed from her surgery. Dr. Camper looked at her incision and everything. It's healing up, looking great. She's due for her second vaccine today. So after this live post, Dr. Campbell and I are going out there to give her another vaccine. And as you know, those boosters are so important, and the vaccine schedule is so important to protect her. And because she's getting close to having that protection, stay tuned, because she'll be going on a field trip that we hope to bring you along with. A field trip to a very large grassy open habitat in the next, I would say, within the next week. So stay tuned, because we're hoping to bring you guys along with that. And we're hoping to go live with that, is the goal. We always have to work on the cat schedule, is on the Mango, the Lion Cubs page on Facebook. And so if you have not joined that group, Mango the Lion Cub, please join that group. We'll also be sending out an invite. Those, you get everything you could want Mango on a daily basis. Not only just her cute, cuddly daily things, but her milestones. We're taking you from the time we found out her mom was pregnant until to now. So you get mixed in of what's happening today, but you get a lot of flashbacks of over the weeks of what care had to go in to get her here safe to sanctuary. So that's super exciting as well. We had a really emotional day yesterday. It was our ash release ceremony. Many of you over the years know that, and have been part of via live streaming, is that when our cats pass away, we cremate them. And we do a special ceremony where we bring out the ashes. People can read poems if they want, and we go around with each cat's ashes we're releasing that day to remember them. And caretakers, interns, and staff can share special memories, whether it's of the rescue, whether it's of small moments, caretaking for them over the years they've been at the sanctuary. A lot of talk is kind of when they open up and they really thrive here at the sanctuary, when they've had really bad pasts, things they've overcome, and just it's really an emotional time, but it's really good with closure. And then we do that in the Memorial Pavilion, and we're surrounded by all the wonderful memorial plaques that our sponsors and supporters help memorialize those cats. And then we release a little bit of ashes in the memorial garden, and then each staff member caretaker gets to pick which final release they want, and we all walk together out to wildlife land, and now it's wildlife land we own, to release their ashes for their first day and forever time to be free. And so that is something that this year, as you guys know, with the amount of geriatric losses, was definitely emotional, but a much needed day. And you know, I look back at the early years 25 years ago, and we didn't have 150 animals we were rescuing and caring for at a time, and so the losses were less. And then we have a lot of geriatrics, so those losses are expected, but the type of rescues we're doing now is so much different than somebody having a 3-year-old serval that they no longer can keep. You know, we're doing cruelty neglect cases, roadside zoo cases, metabolic bone disease, where they're getting seized because of animal welfare violations and years of not receiving vet care and proper diets. So sadly, we have to say goodbye to some earlier. And so it's really important to remember those wins, you know, like think of all the thousands and thousands of dollars you have helped us put into Ava and the Peppers. Those cats that all came with severe metabolic bone disease have needed so much orthopedic surgery. Chili had 4 surgeries himself, you know, and now Hal had 3. And I will tell you, Hal is back out with servals, and it was awesome to see him running along the fence and chasing along the shared wall yesterday. You guys did that. You know, Dr. Campbell and the vet team did that, where they did so much critical care and stayed on top of everything they could to try and help him. And so we will have news coming up because Ava and the Peppers family is changing a little bit because we have some compromised cats in that group, but hopefully also expanding. So as you know, we will share with sponsors first, and then you guys as we can when we have moves and mergers. And so we're looking at some serval play dates. So stay tuned for that as well. We also have some fun news, as you guys saw on the video, that Shazam and Winona are really getting along on the shared fence. And Leopard Shazam has always loved big cats, but Winona has really never liked other cats, but she's starting to have this a big affection for Shazam. So the caretakers asked, because remember when Shazam lived next to other cats, in his indoor room, hi Benny, he had a howdy door from their room to room inside. So during winter months or when he was doing inside, he could still see his lovely neighbors. We had covered that up when Winona moved in, since she has a history of not being too friendly in close proximity to other cats. But since she's showed a kinship with Shazam, they've taken down that howdy wood so that she has the howdy door back to see him. And it's just lovely to see that Shazam always opens his heart to a new friendship every time somebody else moves in next door. We're also in the planning works for our VIP event. It is one of the few times a year that donors can come on site and see where their funds are going and spend time with other like-minded individuals. It's also a really special time, and it's sold out. This year it's sold out. That we have dinner together, there's a silent auction, we have a whole day at the sanctuary, we have lunch here, and a bus takes everybody to and from the hotel. So planning a really fun time for everybody that's going to be here at the VIP event. So we're excited to see you all in September. We still are, we're so thankful for the volunteers that do come. We have volunteers that I see, like a vet tech, wonderful today, that's helping trim and do ear nails and vaccines with Dr. Campbell, to the volunteers that are doing the not only mowing, but they come back day 2 to do the installation of the 10 by 20 building. And so we have so many dedicated single volunteers. We have people that do crew days, but for some reason it is a crazy summer and summer's going fast. Our crew days continue to get canceled on occasion, whether it be a family emergency or change of plans or just, Minnesota weather. It's going to be another hot one and humid one again this weekend. And so when that happens, our staff and interns are having to pick up those projects and add on to their plate. And so, if you've ever considered volunteering or running a crew day, definitely visit our website at wildcatsanctuary.org under how to help volunteer. We definitely need people that can do manual labor. A lot of what we do here is glorified farm chores, but that's what it is. It's backbreaking, wonderful, heartwarming work for the cats we rescue. And then also what's been going on is, it is summertime, so we're seeing traveling exhibits, whether that be tiger encounter shows showing up at county fairs, or people bringing, different wild animals to fairs and festivals. And, I appreciate all of you who speak up. It is really important to be polite when you speak up and to speak up to the decision makers. You can try and convince the traveling exhibitor, whether it be a circus, a private individual, a corporation that's bringing exotic animals around, but they're really just going to attack you and attack the sanctuaries. That's their ammo. Their ammo is to personally attack, to try and pull every little detail and blow it out of proportion, and really take people's names through the mud to try and get people to back off. And here's the thing is, we try and not call out individual organizations as in individuals doing the bad players, as we call them. We want to talk about the issue, because this is much more about this one exhibit. Yes, we want that exhibit to be canceled and not be and to really educate those fair goers that there's so many other amazing ways to bring family-friendly entertainment that does not exploit animals and have them have to travel across country in crates and things like that. And that, even though it's under the guise of education or conservation, that it is not. And so I appreciate so many of you that have stood up for me now that, I'm getting personally attacked by a few of these traveling exhibitors, but you don't have to do that. Your job, honestly, and your effort is so much better used writing that polite email, making that polite phone call to the fairgoers that are making those decisions. And you don't want to reprimand them. What you want to do is offer other options. They can reach out to an accredited zoo who has a zoo mobile service and bringing them around. They can reach out to dog and cat rescues that can bring adoptable dogs and cats that can do more humane. Cirque du Soleil, have them reach out to their local dance groups and theater groups at the high schools and support their local communities. And so we want to give them wonderful options that are an alternative to this animal exploitation. But until then, you're still going to see the exploiters badmouth, trailer trash, put every article they can or every little snippet they can to really try and discredit organizations like ours or other animal welfare organizations that are trying to educate and stop these kind of exhibits. And so, we have to make change little by little, and talking to the bad guys about what they're doing bad is just going to hurt your heart, is just going to get you personally attacked, because that's their ammo. The more they can personally attack people back away. And so to me, again, just saying, the bad guys are going to be the bad guys. We need to really motivate the people that are on the fence, the people that just don't have the knowledge of what's happening to animals, and really do it in a polite way and bring them along with us. So we really appreciate what everybody's doing and speaking up. And little by little, you guys helped us really ban the white tigers coming from the Dakota County Fair in the past. And we're going to make change, whether it's our group, you with us, national groups like Animal Legal Defense Fund, Humane World for Animals, the local mom who makes that choice and does not bring her child to that traveling exhibit, to the person that chooses a more humane alternative, go to the beach, go to the state fair, things like that. So thank you guys for being so protective of me, but I don't want you to waste your energy protecting me. I want you to waste the energy that you do so good protecting the animals. And so thank you guys for that. And again, keep the wild in your heart, not your home, and we'll continue to really advocate against traveling exhibits that bring exotic and wild animals to towns. But you have to remember, a lot of these places are no longer accepting them in the large cities, and so it's in really rural areas that don't have a lot of options. And so our job is to give them better, humane options that they can bring their child or family to a wonderful experience that's about the better good, not about that selfie or that quick social media moment. So thank you guys, and thank you for my outreach people who go out all the time to different organizations, cat cafes and everything else with a table, with photos, with a smile on their face, really trying to educate people about making change. So I have to go give Mango not only her lunch, but also her vaccine. So which one do you think she's gonna want first? But I really appreciate you guys being part of the weekly wrap up and all you do. We will have hopefully some news to share in the coming weeks. You guys have already been there for the Canada Rescue. There's been a lot of other things in the works, high profile, high volume cases we've been working on that we hope to share. And then there's some things we can't share yet in the works, but knowing that you'll be there with us and that you have been there with us for these special rescue cases allows us to work behind the scenes, hi Benny, and still make those rescues happen when needed. And so we will be able to share news when we can, and I will see you next week. Thanks.